All right, everybody, good evening. Welcome to the Madison DX Club for our meeting for August 11th, 2026. My name is Dick Strasberger. My call sign is N9EEE. I'm located in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm your president for the club until June of next year or July of next year. So I'm in the seat for now. That's why I've got the logos behind me. We got a good night, a good agenda for you tonight, so we're going to move along here. If I could ask everybody, for all the guests to mute your microphones, and for all the members you can unmute yours if you like for now, for the business meeting, unless you've got a lot of noise in the background. For anybody who hasn't done it, if you could take a look at your little square, your Hollywood square on the screen, and make sure it shows at least your first name and your call sign so that we know who you are, and so does our guest speaker, George Allison, who will be talking to us in about a half an hour. So, okay, so let's kick things off here. I'll give you a brief president's report here. I met with a group called the Organization of DX Clubs. It's a brand new thing that one of our members, Bill AJ8B, has put together with his home club, Southwest Ohio DX Association, and as well as a number of clubs around the country. Lee is here, K0LW, and wanted to sit in. And what we do is we kind of share ideas. We've only had one meeting, but the idea here is to share ideas. And in that first meeting, we all had a turn to identify some of the things that we were working on. And it was amazing that one of the things that came up was club growth. And virtually everybody said that was one of their things that they were working on for this next year. So we're not the only ones. So we'll have some good company there and maybe some good ideas coming from that. Another thing that came up that was pretty interesting. I don't think Jim is on, our treasurer, but there's a gentleman in Florida, an IT guy, who has developed an automated membership renewal system. And it's kind of like, if you're in marketing, it's kind of like a drip email campaign. And it just tracks you through the whole process, and it's automated. So there's nothing to it. Basically, it's the good old push the button, and the system takes care of itself, generates the emails, handles the finances, and you don't have to worry about anything except go to the bank. So we'll see how that comes about. Coming up on August 19th, next week, I do have an officers meeting with Dave York, Jim Hugo, our treasurer and secretary, as well as Kevin and Bob, EWC. And we're going to be talking about a few things, but the main topic is going to be talking about DX funding criteria. How do we decide what kind of organizations or what kind of DX expeditions may be, I'll put in quotes, worthy of our DX funds? So, and the idea behind that would be to be able to post these on the website as the website becomes refreshed, so that it's there for not just you guys, but it's also there for the expeditioners who are curious, if we have any criteria that we look at. So anyway, we're going to talk about, first of all, do we want criteria, and what criteria would that be? So if you have any ideas that you would like to have emerged, feel free to contact me, Dave, or Jim. Send them on through, and we'll make sure that they are presented at our officers meeting next week. Let's see. So with that, I was going to turn it over to Jim. Are you here? Jim Hugo, our treasurer. Actually, before I go, I should stop for a moment and do a brief introductions of our board. We've got our president, Dave, W9DEY. Say hello, Dave. All right. Jim Hugo, KE9ET. All of you guys know him. He is not here. All right. President ex officio, is that how it's labeled? Or ex emeritus? I don't know. N9JKP, Kevin's here, and thank you for that. And Bob, the other advisor, Bob Urban, EWC, you know him, but he is not here tonight. So at least not yet. All right, so Jim is not here, so I'll give you a brief report. From what I understand, our balance that we have in the bank is $2,879.24. So that amount keeps growing, even though we're spending it. thanks to the renewal season here. So we're financially in really good shape. So that's good news as always, right? Um, Better to have money than not have money. The dues that we collect primarily do go towards the expeditions. So it's good to know that we've got some money that we can work with. The other thing that Jim was going to talk about was where we stand with the membership renewal. We had, by my calculations, at the end of June, we had 44 members. And as of today, we've had 34 members renew. So 10 members are still not accounted for. So if you're one of those, feel free to renew. If you have any concerns, feel free to give me a call or an email, and we can talk about whatever those concerns might be. Let's see. Let's old business. Oh, I've got show and tell tonight, guys. I'm going to actually share a screen. What I want to show you is so I just took it upon myself recently, which is a dangerous thing to do. But as I was looking at our website and I was looking at our roster, we had an out-of-date member roster. And I wanted to at least get the 2025 roster up until we get 2026 nailed down, which hopefully will be done by the end of this month. One thing I noticed was that we had our all the members listed on the roster, but we also had their email addresses. And I get a little worried about posting email addresses. I don't know how you guys all are. I really haven't gotten over that idea yet, that it's a bad idea to list them. So I know that there's one place that we do feel pretty much at liberty to post our email address. At least many of us do. And that's over on the qrz.com profile page that many of us have. So I thought that rather than me just arbitrarily, or the club arbitrarily posting member email addresses on our website that could be pulled down by bots and all sorts of terrible things happen to your email, to your inbox, I thought, but let's just connect it to your QRZ page. People get to go and read your profile that way. And if you have your email address on there, then voila, then people can email you. I know that many of us have got a forwarding address like through the ARRL, and that's perfectly fine. I suppose, at some point, maybe when we get to the 2026 roster, if somebody really has a burning desire to have their email address on there, we can do that. But I thought just for safety reason that, this might be a good way to go. So I hope you don't mind that I just did that for you guys, but it just felt like the safe way to go.
It's actually a good idea because with the QRZ profile page, you have to log in order to get the email address, and therefore you can't just scrape it. So I'm much appreciative of that.
Okay, good. All right, I'll stop share so you can all see each other again. All right. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate hearing the feedback. Next on our agenda is just to talk about DX and how's DX and what's going on in the world of DX. So I'm going to pass it over to Dave, who's going to take that part of the conversation.
Hello, everybody. I don't have a whole lot of information, but what I do have, I am happy to share. It seems like Six has been open to Asia quite a bit this season. I'm extremely happy. I scored Korea on Six the other night. I think July 30th. A lot of JAs, and all of a sudden Korea popped in there, and I gave it a whirl, and he came right back to me, and he confirmed the same night. So it made number 68 for me on six meters. So I was very happy about that. Bob had Urban kind of had a disappointing, what I call half a QSO. He scored half a QSO with China. So it didn't go to completion, but it was exciting to watch it happen for a while there. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've really noticed a lot of Asia was on this season. I don't know if anybody else has seen that or not, but that's what I've got here. I haven't worked any HF at all. It's almost all been 6 meters um, for the DX. Um, I don't know. I jokingly said to Dick the other night, if you want to consider 2 meter weak signal DX that I was able to contact. I was working the East Coast. I guess you could call that DX, kind of, sort of. But we mostly, I think, are dealing with true DX. But that was exciting when that came across for me. I don't know if anybody else out there. Here we go again with the bells. Hang on. That's the problem with I still have not gotten my radio room in the basement completely back up and going since the flood. So I'm sitting in the dining room here with my wife's computer because mine made its way to the scrap yard because it was under about 12 inches of water. So I don't know if anybody else has a comment regarding a short comment regarding any special DX that they've worked. I think it's always, well, let's be straightforward. Whenever I get something new, that's fantastic news, but I always get excited when somebody else scores on something too. So if nobody else has anything, Dick, I will send it back to you and take just a brief moment to see if anybody scored anything really cool.
Well, I've had 8-man DXCC for a long time, but I finally started looking at 6 a little bit more eagerly. And lo and behold, the other night, was it the 31st? Was that the night you're talking about?
That was
yeah. All of a sudden that day, I hopped the Atlantic on 3 or 4 contacts and made a dozen JA contacts later on. So I was one happy camper for a while. Now I've only got about 83 more countries to go on 6.
Well, you're chipping away there, Ed.
I'm at like I said, number 68 with Korea that came up. Earlier this season was when Europe really popped in there. And I believe I spoke with Bob Urban. We went out to dinner several nights ago, and I believe in that opening, he picked up 11 new ones out of Europe on 6 meters. So that was a day that I could not get into the radio room, and I was beside myself. That was the day that we decided to do some cleanup from the flood in the basement, and we had enamel painted the floor, and I was not about to walk over that wet enamel to get to my radio room, but I sure wished I could have figured out a way to levitate across that floor. Anyway, anybody else got some exciting DX news?
WAGQK. I caught 2 consecutive JA openings from down here near Chicago. The second one was just monstrous for me, and I don't have a huge setup, but JAs calling me 5, 6 at a time. But the night before, I did snag China right at the end and completed on that for a new one. And I think after those 2 nights, I must have 40 JAs in the log on 6 meters. I wish all of them would confirm.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah,
Ed. Wow.
This is Steve down here in Texas. We had a really good night. I think it was that 30th or 31st as well. I got China, Korea, and a VR2 called me. That was really quite the surprise. So I'm stuck right now at 99.
Oh,
I've got 103 worked, but I've only got 99 confirmed for my 10 band DXCC. So it's been a good 6-meter season, guys. But I think it's
Perfect.
over.
all right.
Isn't this
Very good.
something that's coming into August like this? This is, I mean, this is like, sounds like an outstanding year for 6.
It's definitely been, especially as some of them have said here. I've had my screen light up the reddish orange from JA multiple times, trying to keep all of them in order to answer them. Became somewhat of a challenge for me. I've never been on that side of a pileup before, so it was exciting for a while. And back over to you then, Dick.
All right, fabulous. Anybody else in the club? But anything, any good DX? No, it's summer, right? So, all right. Well, good. Well, thanks for everybody for sharing what you have worked, and we'll look forward to stuff coming up here. We're on the backside of cycle 25, so we don't acknowledge that, right? We just go forward anyway. When you're at the peak of a cycle, that's just extra antenna juice. All right, so let's see here. Next on the old agenda, speaking of DX, I want to share a screen with you again. We do have a request for funds, and actually it's from within. This came something that came across my eyes, it came across Dave's eyes, and it came across Bob's eyes almost simultaneously. And I'll bet it came across your eyes too. It came up on DX World. I'm talking about VK9XY, Christmas Island. Let me pull the screen up here. All right, so here's why we're excited about it. I grabbed a snippet here right from their website. I thought, it's written so nicely that why should I try to put it in bullet points? So basically what's happening is this goes to Greg Marco. You guys know him, W6IZT. Glenn Johnson, of course, you know him, W0GJ. And these two guys are through the Pacific Island DXpedition group, have been working on this for a few years, especially in the past couple of years with youth-led DXpeditions. They took the group to Saba, and they were very much involved with that. This time around, they are acting as mentors, and they're letting the youths, I shouldn't say letting, they are helping the youths through the planning and the execution and the on-island activation of VK9XY. The team leader is Max N4ML. He's been around the block. He's done a lot of things. He was involved, I believe, with Saba, and he was involved with Bouvet. I don't remember if he was on site or if he was a remote station, but he's a contester. He was just involved in the WRTC, and so he knows what he's doing, and he's taking the lead here, and he's leading a group. There's some from the US, some from Lithuania, and one operator from Malawi that will be involved here. Their plan is to have 4 stations on island and 2 that will be operating remote. They will not be auto remote. They will be fully human tended at all times when they're remote. I understand at least one of the radios will be an Aurora from Flex, so they'll have the benefit of that radio. But they're doing all the planning, all the fundraising, all the logistics, everything that shows up on the screen there. It's all about them. And Greg Marco and Glenn Johnson, they're providing some of the advice when they see it or when they feel they needed to. The goal here is to fully fund this outing so that it's not out of pocket, and so that's where they're headed with this. So what we're looking to do here tonight is to discuss this and then hopefully approve funding for this the expedition for VK9XY. Dave, is there anything you wanted to add that I have not?
I don't think so. I see that they, I just looked it up real quick. If I did it correctly, they look like they're number 76 on the most wanted list. well within the what we have done in the past is usually within the top 100. If somebody thinks that I remember that wrong, please speak up. But I think this would be a good one for us to go ahead and add some support to.
Thank you. Yeah, then what caught my eye and why I put it in bold was that this is youth led. So this is the first major de-expedition, I believe, that is youth led, and that's a huge interest that I think we should all get behind, so that we continue to you know, see this float from one generation to the next and keep us going and cheering them on and helping to support de-expeditions. So I would like to propose well, first discussion, but then I would like to propose consideration for an amount of $250 to go towards this expedition. So,
You know how
um,
old they are, the kids?
I think to be classified as youth is to be under 30.
Under 30? Okay.
Hmm. I believe that's the qualification.
Okay.
I know that
I was
the
thinking
gentleman,
like 12, 14, something like that, but under
yeah,
anything under 30. Okay.
the gentleman from Malawi, urgent, urgent Jere or Jere, U7 of 7Q. Jim, in 7US, you may have to help me with this. 7QUJ, I believe is his call sign.
7Q6UJ, I think.
That's it. Thank you. I knew I would drop something. um, he is one of the guys. He is the college. He's not even in college yet, and he's about to start college in Malawi. So there's your younger end of the spectrum here. He became a ham within the past 12 months, and he's been on a very, very fast track. He's been sponsored by 7Q6M Don Jones, who's been over in Malawi for quite a while and has been building up the ham radio population on that island. And so he took Urgent under his wing, and it's been really getting him fast tracked through the ham radio world. So he's had a lot of exposure and he's ready to go. So that'll be cool. Any other conversation from members? Sam, Scott, Ed?
No, I think it'd be good. I was thinking the same amount of money that you said, the $250. That would be a nice chunk of change for them.
And
Okay.
if it's a motion, I'll second it.
I was just going to second it. So,
All right. Well, who's the one proposing it?
You were the one that proposed it.
I propose it. I don't know that I can do that legally, but okay. All right. That sounds good. All right. Then if that's been any all in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. All opposed? All right. Very good. All right. Then it's passed and we'll get her done. Good. We'll see a check and we'll get a logo on their page. Before I get to the program calendar, I was just going to ask at this point if there's any member feedback, any new business you guys want us to tackle. Anything that we should be doing as a club that you think that we should be keeping our eyes on? I know the website comes up. We're working on it. That probably won't happen until maybe October, but we're working on it. Anything else? All right. I was going to just throw this out there. W9 DXCC is coming up in September 11th for the DX Contest University, and the 12th is the actual conference day. Held at the Marriott down in Naperville. Is anybody planning on going? Oh, Scott, good. Jim's going. Okay. Scott, awesome. Oh, okay, Steve's going.
I'm not
Gary,
in
are you going
Vermont,
down there
so
this
it's
year?
easier.
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Kevin, Tim, you guys going?
I'm still thinking about it.
All right.
First time I went, which was 8, 9 years ago, won a great headset, and I'm afraid I'll not win again. So, poor excuse for not going, but.
All about the door prizes there, Kevin.
And the new first time t-shirt or polo shirt that I got too.
Wow. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, by looking at their schedule, they must have a boatload of door prizes. They sure seem to have an endless supply last year because their agenda this year has got a big chunk of time to giving away door prizes. So if there's anything of value, it could at least be the door prize. All right. Well, I'm going to be going down to them, so we should be good. All right. Let's see. Let me. Anything else from the membership? Anybody? Anything? Okay. Well, you know me. I want to share stuff, so I have one more slide to share with you guys. And I'm not always the best at doing this. So it's just keeping you up to date with what's coming up here, coming up down the line. So coming up in just a few minutes, we've got George Allison, K1IG, Under the Hood of Logbook of the World. That's going to be exciting. I think we're all looking forward to that one. Something different for us to understand, just when you think you know it all, right? Coming up in September, Otis, NP4G, the team leader for the Desaccio Island, he will be coming in by Zoom. He's also speaking at W9DXCC, so it's kind of nice to get him before then. I saw his presentation at Hamvention and had a chance to talk to him. His presentation, he's got a really, really good sense of humor. So I know you guys are going to enjoy this one. Coming up in October, we just, by the way, let's talk about Christmas Island. Max will be on the call. I'm not sure if Greg will join him or not, but Max will be on to tell us all about Christmas Island. And I asked him to put an extra emphasis, not on just the DXpedition and going out there, but also on the next generation or the youth-led movement for DXpedition. Not just what he sees for Christmas Island, but what he sees in general coming from his group, Steve, with Philip over in Germany, and some of the other youth-led group that's out there, and just where they see all of this going and what their future looks like. Then Carl's coming in on November to give us a propagation discussion on what's next on cycle 25. And then we'll have, hopefully we're still putting this together, but hopefully in the December meeting, we'll talk about the DX toolbox with spotting networks. And we'll talk about the CW skimmers and the packet clusters. And that's, if Ed's got his arms wrapped around our packet cluster to his satisfaction, then we'll have that level of conversation on that. So that's what's coming up here in the next few months. And so we'll start looking at 2027 probably next month. And if you guys have any ideas of what you're looking for a program, let me know. You can let Bob know. You can let, and if any one of you wants to help with program planning, we would greatly appreciate the extra help and support. So just let me know if you would like to do that. It's not a lot of work. You don't get business cards. You don't even get a free cup of coffee. Well, maybe I'll pop for a free cup of coffee, but that might be it. But you get a pat on the back and a handshake, and all of our appreciation. So that's what's coming up there. All right. So we got just 1 minute left here, so I will just close the meeting. I see we got a couple of new people that joined us. I'll close the meeting by just saying that if you're not a member of our club and you like what we're doing, feel free to join our club. And by joining our club, what you're really doing is you're contributing to our DX fund kitty, so to speak, because the majority of our funds go to pay for DXpeditions, like what we just did with Christmas Island. So anything that's left over, we do have some technology needs, but they're very, very small. And so some of the funds goes toward that. But it's majority of it goes to supporting DXpeditions. So that's what you're doing when you join our club. Feel free to contact me or contact Jim, KE9ET. Oh yeah, I know. I could tell you I could share one more time. And you're gonna not want me to do this anymore, are you? Someday I'm going to get really fluid with this. So here's our contact info. If you want to contact us about joining or for any other things you want to ask us about the club, anybody, anytime, feel free to contact us in this way. Dave, I didn't put your phone number up here because I didn't ask your permission, so we'll do it for next time.
Yeah, you've got my permission. Go ahead and do that.
All right. Very good. All right, everyone, we're going to take a break. We're going to close the meeting at this time, take a 1 or 2 minute break.